What's going on YouTube? Today I'm talking about the Fidelity ETFs. They aren't absolutely necessary to buy when there's also a bunch of other good ETFs and other choices out there. But Fidelity ETFs just have lower fees and they pretty much get the same returns as the Vanguards and the Spider ones. So we'll see. Let's see how it goes. And if you find this video informative, please leave a like and a subscribe. What are some good Fidelity ETFs that might be worth looking into? Because the thing about Fidelity ETFs or index funds, they are a lot cheaper to own, as in they have less expense ratios. So now I might compare it to another regular ETF. So this one's called FXAIX. It's the 500 index fund, like the S&P 500. It tracks the S&P 500, and it's a pretty good one because it has a 0.015% expense ratio. That would be a $1.50 charge for every $10,000 every year. So for every $10,000 you have in FXAIX, you'll be paying $1.50 once a year. And then let's check out like SPY. Okay, SPY is also the S&P 500 ETF. SPY has a 0.0945% expense ratio, which is about $9.45 for every $10,000 you have invested into SPY per year. So there's really not much of a difference here because they both track the same amount of stocks and they have the same top 10 holdings. If you look here, so they have Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Tesla, Google, Facebook, Nvidia, Berkshire, United Health. This one has Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Tesla, Google, Facebook, Nvidia, Berkshire, Johnson & Johnson. Ooh, there is one little difference in here. Okay. But however, now if you look at the 1 year return for SPY, it has a 23.21% return. Now if you look at, the 1 year has a 23.28% return. So not only is it cheaper to own FXAIX, but it also has a better return for the 1 year. Let's check out VOO, because VOO is also a 500 S&P 500 index. So VOO has a 23.29% 1 year return, which is a lot better than SPY and a little tiny bit better than FXAIX. However, VOO has a 0.03% net expense ratio. However, VOO has been out relatively the same amount of time that FXAIX has been out. Because FXAIX has been out since around 2012 and VOO has been out since like 2011. SPY has been out since 1993. Okay, so SPY has a longer track record, but and then there's also SPLG, which is made by Spider as well. VOO's made by Vanguard, and FXAIX is made by Fidelity. SPLG is cheaper to own than SPY, and it had a similar return as SPY. Okay, made by the same company. VOO and FXAIX would be my top ones. Now, for the next one would be FZROX. FZROX is the total market index fund. No, the zero total market index fund. I think they are invested 100% into the United States market, or at least North America. Domestic equities 99.97%, international equities 0.01%. They're pretty much in all of the US. FZROX, I think it's a pretty good one. I'm invested into this a little bit. It has a 3-star overall rating, and it's around mid-risk category. But they have a net expense ratio of 0.00%. So it's pretty much free to own. They had a 19% 1 year, which is pretty good. So you'd have made a little bit of money if you held it for a year. And they have a 15% life of the fund. However, this fund hasn't been out very long. This fund has only been out since 2018, so it doesn't have a good track record yet. Now, I would advise to be cautious investing in FZROX because it doesn't have much of a track record. Normally these index funds, they like equivalent to another one. You know, it's just the Fidelity version. So it's saying like it's equivalent to VTSAX and VTI. So it's just a free index fund, and I mean, that's up to you if you want to get into it. It is just a free Fidelity Index Fund. Now, you can come over here and see what they got into it. So it's pretty much, you know, like all of them. They're Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Tesla, Google, Facebook, Nvidia, Berkshire, United Health. So let's see. VTSAX. So this is the Vanguard version. VTSAX has a better rating than FZROX, and VTSAX has actually 4,100 holdings. FZROX has 2,631 holdings. FZROX has a 1-year return of 18.52%. FZROX has a 1-year return of 19.18%. Okay, so FZROX is doing a little bit better than VTSAX this last year. You know, there's not much time that FZROX has been out. Now, here's another one that I found. This is the Real Estate Index ETF from Fidelity. It's called FRAIL, and it is an equivalent to VNQ. So VNQ had a return of 28.64% in the last year. It has a 3-year return of 12.22%. FRAIL has a 3-year return of 12.25% and a 1-year return of 29.17%. I would say that FRAIL is doing a little worse than VNQ. However, FRAIL has a 0.084% expense ratio. VNQ has a 0.12%. So FRAIL is a little bit cheaper to own, and it's $31 a share. VNQ is $105 a share, which doesn't matter whenever you're investing in ETFs, especially whenever you can just do fractional shares now. So fractional shares, the price, it doesn't matter anymore. But if you're using a company like TD Ameritrade, they don't do fractional shares, so you're gonna have to buy every ETF in full, and you can't even get Fidelity ETFs on TD Ameritrade. And then for the last one I want to talk about is VT. There's nothing like VT out there. Like there's no Fidelity fund for VT. I don't know any other funds for VT. I would say VT is one of the best world stock index funds. So it literally invests in the entire world. So VT has 9,407 holdings. It is invested 59.5% into the United States, Japan 6.15%, United Kingdom 3.96%, China 3.55%, Canada 2.86%. And then, you know, all them other countries you can see over here by region. This is probably like the one ETF you could actually just buy and not have to worry about anything. Just invest in VT, just VT, and then you'll have exposure to everything. So you don't even have to worry about like diversifying your ETFs, because VT already had diversified it for you, because it's like 60% United States, which I guess that's what you would want to do anyways, right? And then 40% other countries. But yeah, that's really everything I got for you today. VT, I know it's not a Fidelity ETF, but I had to throw it in there because it is one of the best ETFs that you can get. But I would also, like me personally, I don't want to invest in only VT. VT has a 0.08 net expense ratio, which is about $8 for every $10,000. That's pretty cheap. Like, this is one of the cheapest, and so is all these other ETFs. That's why we say, you know, you should invest in index funds, not mutual funds, because mutual funds have, like, you'd be paying like $100 for every $10,000 invested, which will literally just take away from all your returns and then pretty much just screw you over. That's why index funds are the best. That's what John Bogle talks about, like in the Little Red Book of Investing or something like that. I started listening to it as an audiobook. I haven't finished it yet, but it's definitely the best thing you can do for investing. And then if you want, you can use 5% of your portfolio to screw around with stocks, but I wouldn't do more than that. Like, if you want to have a good retirement and you want to build wealth over time, you can't get rich quick with index investing, but you will become rich with compound interest. And if you just dollar cost average every single month, just dollar cost average into the stock market, it'll go up and down, but eventually you will make it. But if you listen to these clown YouTubers like Meet Kevin and Jeremy LaFufu, you're going to put all your money into these garbage, unprofitable, shitty stocks and then lose all your money, okay? And you don't want to lose all your money. You want to be able to build money in the stock market, not lose all of it. You don't want to be a gambler. You don't want to like just waste money whenever you could have just put it into ETFs and index funds and actually made money over the last year. Now, if you would have listened to them, you would have lost all your money over the last year. Unless you took your profits and you were smart about it and you didn't just hold and buy the dip. Like if you actually sold out at the top, yeah. If you were smart about it, yeah, you would have made money. But that is very risky. It's gambling, and like you don't know what a stock's going to do. Any stock can go to zero. So you got to be careful, okay? That's why getting index funds is good. But anyways, y'all have a good night. If you like this video, like, subscribe, share, tell everyone about me. If you would like some free if you'd like some free stocks, check out the description below. Have a good night, everybody.